Well, Brian, this is a beautiful car. It's a 1953 Mercedes 300S Cabriolet, right?
300S Cabriolet.
It's beautiful. It's a very special car, but it's special for a lot of reasons.
It is.
This is a McPhereson College car, right?
Yeah, that's true. This was a car that was completely restored by students at McPhereson College as part of the automotive restoration program.
And that program is very special and very unique because it's really the only one where you can get a 4-year degree in automotive restoration and authentication,
That's correct. We are the only program currently that offers a 4-year bachelor's degree in automotive restoration. And so we focus on vehicles from the late 1800s up to about 1970 at this point.
And you guys took this baby on as a project, and it was pretty rough, yes, no?
It was a running driving car, but it had received 1 or 2 previous restorations. And we'll say that after we got the paint stripped off, we had a lot more learning opportunity than we had planned on, especially in the sheet metal lab, but we were able to stick to that 2023 goal.
Well, you know, I've been associated with the college since around 2000 or so, and I've watched the program grow. It really is amazing. You guys also put on a heck of a car show.
We put on a great car show. The students, and that's again another student-driven project. So that whole car show is done completely by students.
Yeah, I love it. I shot it a few years ago. I want to come back and do it again. But enough about that. Let's talk about this beautiful car. Well, first of all, where'd you get it? Was it donated to the college?
So, I mean, when we decided we wanted to compete at Pebble Beach, you have to have a really special car, right? And so went looking. This car was not a donation, but we had some donors that believed in the idea, and they stepped up to help us purchase the car from an owner that also believed in the idea, but...
was it in Kansas?
It was actually in Pennsylvania.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. You know, like most car stories, we went looking for one for about 3 years, and then we got a phone call right out of the blue.
And one found you.
Yes, absolutely.
So has it all been re-chromed and everything?
Yeah, everything's been redone. All of the bright work. That was one of the few things that we actually sent out. We did all the prep work.
Because I didn't think you guys
we do plating in-house, copper and nickel.
Okay.
Some silver plating for mirrors and stuff like that. But the chrome, with students, we don't do that. But they did all the prep work on that, and then we send it out.
Well, and the prep work involved is incredible. You don't put chrome down until everything is absolutely perfect.
Absolutely,
I mean, like on a microscopic level. Perfect. You took it all apart?
We did every nut and bolt, and again, unfortunately with that previous restoration, a lot of hardware was replaced by commercial hardware store bolts, and so when we say a nut and bolt, when we say a nut and bolt restoration, we took some other donor cars apart to get correct,
to get the right bolts,
the right nuts. And then we had to manufacture a lot and then replate those in the correct black oxide, because this car was built before the nickel plating and all on the bolts, that silver color that we're used to. These were all black oxided.
That's interesting.
So we'd had to do that in-house as well.
So how long?
So 7-year restoration.
And it did go to Pebble?
It did go to Pebble and showed very well.
Magnificent.
Yeah, we actually got a second in class.
Oh, that is impressive. So you painted in-house, of course.
We did paint it in-house.
And as you know, this is absolutely the most unforgiving color you can put on a car, because it shows every flaw. And I don't see any flaws.
No, that's something we're really proud of, is the quality and the attention to detail on everything. But you know, the paint is a stunner for this car. And this being a hand-built car, every panel was a little bit different. So getting things like the doors and the fenders, they actually fold into each other. And so to get all that to work...
Well, it's very complicated. That door is part of the fender.
Correct.
That had to be tough.
That was one of the toughest on the body working sides, getting all that to blend together and work.
Is this basically a Landau bar?
So this is a Landau bar, and unlike the ones in the 70s, this is actually a functional...
It actually does something.
It has a functional part of the car. It locks the top in place. And so this was what was the Cabriolet. They did make a hardtop and a roadster version. So this was the formal, most expensive one that they made. The top's actually about 6 different layers, insulated.
So it's got a headliner in a Cabriolet top.
Correct. And so it's a wool headliner, and then there's a muslin envelope basically full of curled horsehair. So we still maintained all the original materials and process.
The wood trim around the back window.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
That's all
Now, is
one-
that wood or is that wood grained metal?
No, that piece is pretty amazing in that it's a single solid piece
Oh my goodness.
of wood, of mahogany. And that's another thing we were really proud of is since this was a hand-built car and everything was labeled, hand-labeled or carved into the piece, the chrome, the leather, this retained all the original woodwork, and we taught ourselves how to restore this mahogany veneer so we could save the original woodwork instead of just re-veneering it.
So all the gauging is original to this car?
Correct, yeah.
Now, did you have to restore the faces and stuff?
On this car, we just cleaned the faces.
Oh, you're kidding. You got away with that?
We were able to get away with that. We decided, they're just a hint of yellow, but keeping that original instead of refacing it, it brought more authenticity to the car itself.
The mahogany is stunning, and I love how crisp the edge is on the top of the dash. My goodness, and the leather work. You guys have quite a leather shop there.
We do.
I'm always impressed with the interiors that come out of your student cars.
Yeah, we have an entire upholstery shop. That's often people are really surprised that we have a upholstery shop in house. We say we don't bend glass and we don't make tires, but
that's about it, right?
That's about it. We want the students to understand the entire process. So not that they're going to specialize in everything, but we want them to understand.
Have an appreciation for all of it.
Yeah, and even if you never want to paint another car again, if you're going to build engines, you still need valve covers and oil pans and the block itself painted, and you have to be able to talk to that painter. And the body man, you have to speak a common language. And
Are these extra brake lights? Are they turn signals?
they're turn signals, so very early turn
so
signal.
So there's no turn signal down here. This is it up here.
That's it, and then in the front fender up front.
Fender lights?
Yep.
Oh,
and then kind of interesting, you have the red brake light, reverse light, and then in there amber brakes. So a little bit different than what people are used to today. Yeah.
Oh, really? Huh. Yeah, that could fool some people.
Fool some people, yeah.
So let's go see what powers this baby.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, you have to do that carefully.
Yeah.
Ooh, holy mackerel, that's beautiful. Three carbs?
Triple carb, that was part of the S package, was you got a different...
What are they?
They're Solex.
Are they Solex?
Solex downdrafts, yeah, 2-barrel. Year before they came out with the S, this was Mercedes-Benz's kind of reintroduction into the luxury car market, after World War II. This was their, we are back as a brand. And so they pulled out all the stops with these 150 horsepower overhead cam, 3-liter 6. But to put in perspective, in 1953, a Ford V8, flathead V8, was making 85 horsepower, and a Chevrolet was still a 6-cylinder with Babbitt bearings, making about 65 horsepower.
This is a bit ahead of its time.
A little bit ahead of its time.
And is that a cast aluminum?
All cast aluminum, correct.
Which always to me looked a little clunky, but it speaks to you.
Yes, yeah, right?
It is fantastic.
And we really wanted to make sure we didn't just have that uniblack.
Yes.
So really...
You have all the different blacks.
All the different blacks, the different manufacturers.
Right places.
Yeah. Luckily, this car kind of used some of the technology to go into the 300 SL gull wings, which then are obviously very well documented, and used a lot of the same components and manufacturers, so we were able to draw information from that.
I see. Yeah.
And kind of reverse engineer that.
Yeah, a lot of people think black is black, like Mick Jagger said, but it's really not. There's so many different blacks.
Correct, yeah.
This is it's a wonderful car, wonderful restoration, and a wonderful story.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Great car, great program.
Thank you.
53 Mercedes 300S Cabriolet.
Fantastic,
Brian,
yeah.
thank you.
Thank you so much.